Have you ever told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? We all have. But what if tomorrow never really comes? Let me tell you a story about a young man named Lucas Reed. Lucas wasn't lazy or careless. He was just comfortable. Comfortable with sleeping in, comfortable with skipping workouts, comfortable with putting things off. His life wasn't bad, but it also wasn't going anywhere. Every day after school, it was the same routine. Backpack on the floor, body on the couch, TV on, phone in hand. Homework could wait. Dreams could wait. He'd tell himself, this feels good, and I deserve a break. Lucas once dreamed of being an engineer, designing bridges and buildings that would stand the test of time. But dreams require effort, and effort felt comfortable. When his friends hit the gym, he stayed home. When teachers gave him warnings, he just smiled and nodded. When deadlines loomed, he'd rush at the last minute, just barely getting by. He kept telling himself, relax, everything will work out. Years went by. High school ended, and Lucas barely graduated. He tried college, but it only lasted one semester. The classes were tough, the mornings were early, and his comfort zone was gone. So he quit. College isn't for everyone, he'd say, trying to sound sure of himself. But deep down, he knew it wasn't the difficulty that scared him. It was the loss of his precious comfort. By 24, Lucas was working a job he didn't hate, but he definitely didn't love. The hours were long, the pay was low, and there was no room for growth. Every night, he'd return to that same old couch, but something had changed. The couch didn't feel soft anymore. It felt heavy, like it was holding him down. One evening, Lucas went to visit his uncle Mark. Mark was a former construction worker who had built his own business from the ground up. As they sat on the porch, watching the sunset, his uncle asked a simple question. Lucas, are you tired? Lucas just shrugged. Yeah, life's exhausting. Mark nodded slowly. You know why. Because you chose comfort when you should have chosen growth, he said calmly. Comfort is expensive. You just don't pay for it right away. That single sentence hit Lucas harder than any lecture ever had. He couldn't sleep that night. He thought about all the easy choices he'd made, all the workouts he'd skipped, the books he never opened, the mornings he'd wasted. Each choice seemed so small at the time, but added together, they had built a future filled with pain and regret. The very next morning, Lucas did something incredibly uncomfortable. He woke up early. It felt awful. His body screamed at him to go back to bed. But for the first time, he stood up anyway. That same day, he applied for night classes. He started walking instead of just sitting. He studied instead of endlessly scrolling through his phone. It wasn't some heroic, movie-like transformation. It was just plain hard. Weeks turned into months. Lucas was still tired, but it was a different kind of tired. His muscles ached from exercise. His mind was stretched from learning. His days were full. And a strange thing started to happen. The pain of effort began to feel so much lighter than the heavy pain of regret he had been carrying for years. Lucas is standing on a construction site, wearing a hard hat and reviewing the blueprints for a brand new bridge. Getting there wasn't easy. It wasn't comfortable. But standing there, he smiled. Not because his life was finally comfortable, but because it was finally meaningful. Here's the thing. Temporary comfort whispers sweet lies in your ear. Rest now. Avoid the pain. You can do it later, but long-term pain screams at you. Why didn't you start sooner? You have a choice. Choose the discomfort of effort today so you don't have to suffer the agony of regret tomorrow. Because temporary comfort creates long-term pain, but temporary pain creates long-term success. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more content to help you build a better future.